Hello and welcome back. It's Rachel here with the Shades of Orange. Today I have a video that I think is going to be a lot of fun, and that is my TBR for 2018 in combination with the 5-star prediction tag. And this tag was started by Mercedes, and I'm going to link her channel down below as well as all the other booktubers I'm going to talk about. But what I thought would be fun is the fact that every year I try to pick out about 5 books that I'm really interested in reading, books that I want to prioritize in the new year. And I thought it would be a really fun excuse to talk about books that I think are going to be potential favorites. Because here's the thing, if I do a good job with this, I'm essentially giving you a preview of my best of the year's list that hopefully will show up in December. So we'll see how this goes. Now the first book I'm really excited about, and that is The Devil of Nanking by Hayder. And this is the book that Katie from Chapterstackss talked about a few years ago, I think. And it was one of her favorites, and we tend to have really similar tastes. I get a lot of recommendations from her book channel. So the fact that she really liked it makes me think that I'll really like it too. I understand it's about a woman from England who goes to Japan looking for some lost footage, and I don't know much more about it other than that it's incredibly dark. I've looked at my Goodreads friends' reviews, and quite a few people have said that it's one of the darkest books they have read, and in a lot of cases they said it was too dark and they didn't end up liking it because of how dark it was. And if you know me, when people give those kind of ratings on books, that usually motivates me to pick it up. So I have really high hopes that this book is going to make me really uncomfortable. I love the Japanese setting because that is a place in the world that I'm just really fascinated by. I would love to travel there one day or even live there for a year. So that is a book I'm definitely going to check out in the next year. Next book I want to read is Headful Ghosts by Tremblay, which I want to read for a few reasons. First, I understand it's a story about a family that thinks that their daughter is possessed by a demon, and somehow she ends up on a reality TV show, I think. And I really like possession stories. I've said it before, I just really like the idea of exorcisms, and those horror stories I just tend to really enjoy. So I have high hopes for that reason. But it was also one of Stephanie's favorite books from the channel, that's what she read. And while our tastes aren't the exact same, we do tend to have a lot of overlap in our reading. And I just have high hopes that if she really liked it, I'll really like it too. I have heard that it's not the scariest book out there, but I'm perfectly fine with that. I've learned that I don't need a horror book to be scary in order to still really enjoy it. I've heard it's very well done. And now that I've read some of the classics of that genre, like The Exorcist, I think I'm going to get a lot more out of a book like this and really understand a lot of the winks and nods in it. So I'm really looking forward to that one. I know Stephanie's done a review, so if I am aware of good book reviews that got me excited about these books, I will try to link them down below. Next book I want to read is Brother by Ania, and I've been hearing amazing things about her as an author. One of my goals this year is to read more horror by ladies, and I think this one's going to fit the bill. Julie from Girl in the Book has been recommending me this book for quite a while. It is one of the darkest horror books that she has ever read. And again, you're seeing a theme here, but if someone says a book is super dark, I've got to check it out. I've also heard great things about it by SniderBeeBooks, and I'll link her video down below talking about it. But I just think this has some good potential. I understand it's about a family of redneck serial killers, and the authorities know terrible things are going on, but they put a bit of a blind eye to it. But the young son in this family is looking to get out and have a normal life and escape his weird family. It sounds terrible, disturbing, and when I'm in the right mood for it, I'm definitely going to check that one out. Now my next 5-star prediction is People Who Eat Darkness by Lloyd Parry, which is a nonfiction true crime account of a woman who went missing in Japan and her body was found brutally murdered and dismembered. And this story is told from a journalist who followed the case and is talking to family members, and the story goes from there. I don't read tons of nonfiction. I can find it dry, so it was a little bit of a risk to put this on the list, but I do tend to like true crime, and I've heard that this particular story has a very journalistic feel to it. I like the idea of a journalist going around and talking with witnesses and piecing together the story. It appeals to the part of me that really liked the podcast Serial and other true crime podcasts like that. So I think that this one could, again, really ring all of my bells. I love that it's set in Japan, which is a place I just find fascinating. So I've heard really good things about it. Charlie has talked about it, as well as Becky from Beck's books. So again, channel links down below. But I'm hoping that this one could just be another phenomenal read, because I've read a couple of true crime books that I've really liked, and I think this one has a lot of potential. Finally, last book on this list is actually a graphic memoir, and that is My Friend Dahmer by Derf Backderf, which I first heard about when Stephanie recommended it to me and the rest of the listeners on the podcast, the episode about nonfiction. And I knew very little about Jeffrey Dahmer beforehand, but I understand that this story, and it is a true story, follows someone who went to high school with Jeffrey Dahmer, who is that notorious serial killer, and really accounts for his childhood, his home life, and gives a lot of insight into who he was before he started killing people. I just really enjoy those backstories. It sounds like it's really going to delve into a lot of questions about nature versus nurture. And it just sounds like the kind of story I would really like. The one thing that I could see stopping me from giving it a full 5 stars is the fact that I have previewed the artwork, and it's a very amateur style that I don't think I'm going to love. But if the story is as gripping as I think it's going to be, I can still see myself giving it like 4.5 stars, because I love graphic memoirs. I read quite a few of them, and it just sounds like the kind of subject matter that would really appeal to me. So that is definitely one I'm going to be checking out in the coming year. So those are 5 books that I plan on reading in 2018, and I'm also predicting that they will hopefully be 5-star reads for me. I will definitely report back, good or bad, how I did. And like I said, if you're lucky, you've just watched a preview of my 2018 Best Books of the Year video, but we shall see. If you're interested in reading any of the books I mentioned, let me know. We can potentially do a low-key buddy read, or just let me know if you have a recommendation which one I should read first, which one you think I'll like, or did I make a mistake? Do you think one is not going to be my kind of book? I would love any feedback, and I'd love to hear about the books that you're planning on reading in the new year. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.